Awesome. All right. Hey, Rockland, thank you so much for joining in today. I want to start with a couple warm-up questions, just some rapid fire, get a couple responses before we get into even a little deeper on it. Sound good?
Bring it. Let's go.
Sweet.
I'm ready to go. I'm pumped.
What simulator job turned game do you wish you had or do you wish was real? Rather.
Ooh. Wait a minute. What? Do
What?
that one more time.
What simulator job turned game do you wish was real?
Oh, man. I don't even know what to do with that. I play so many simulations. There's like a simulation for everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can go do an autopsy apparently here in a couple months. That's a new game coming out. I don't even know what. Let me ask you that. What would you think?
I don't even know, man. What simulator? I don't even play any simulations. I saw like some
I mean, there's House Builder out now. We got House Builder. I got Autopsy Simulator come out. They got a Moonshine Simulator come out in a couple months. I mean, I don't even know. There's so many simulations come out. I mean, I don't even know how to answer. I am though working on my pilot's license because I've been doing the simulation so much. So I'm currently as a student pilot right now.
Oh, I love that. Okay, we'll definitely get into that. We'll definitely get into that then. Okay. Best food and worst food you've eaten for your channel.
Oh, okay. So I stream so early in the morning that I get a very international audience. It's more than North America, right? So a viewer from Australia sent me an Australian box. You know where I'm going with this, right? And in there was Vegemite. I don't know how the hell I took that tube out on camera and I licked that thing. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's nasty. And they get what I don't know what I call it, Marmite. I think it's in the UK. So they thought it was hilarious. It's horrible. The best food, they all send me a bunch of food all the time. It's probably all those Cadbury chocolate bars I get from the UK. I have a lot of UK viewers, so I got a whole box full of every kind of Cadbury that comes out. That was probably the best.
Love it.
But that Vegemite, I don't even know how they do it.
People love it though. Apparently, that's the crazy thing to me. Okay. What content platform? Justin TV, Stick.am, etc. Which one do you miss the most?
Oh, easy answer. I started streaming on webcam in 2007, August 2007. I remember that. It was BlogTV. I don't know if you remember that because you've been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's about the time it got sold off to YouNow. YouNow is still around. YouNow is some little small offshoot over there, but they bought it out because of some things happened back then. I miss BlogTV. And Justin TV was around the same time. Mm-hmm. And they're very similar. It's more like, I always like into public access TV is what it was. Because people didn't stream video games back then. The cameras only had 300 by 240 resolution. It was choppy. It wasn't smooth and all that. It was basically IRL stream. That's where IRLs started.
Yeah.
And we did everything. And that's where the rules of streaming came from because we did it. And they decided we need to make a rule.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore. Let's go ahead and pare that one back.
Like hot tub streams. Do y'all really think y'all came up with that?
Yeah.
Come on. That's around a long time ago. Come on. Yeah, but it was crazy.
What is your pre-stream ritual as you're going into it?
Ooh, okay. So I am very religious about this. I take my stream extremely serious. I start early morning. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic, and I used to get to the fire station at 5 a.m. So I'm a morning guy anyway. I get up, the alarm goes off at 4 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I get up, I take a shower. I'm acting like I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I treat it that seriously. It keeps me engaged and I get a rhythm going.
Yeah.
I get up, come down, make the coffee. I got that going. I make me a little breakfast, come down. It takes me half an hour to set up my equipment. And I can show you that if you ever want to see it. Takes me a half hour to fire everything up. I don't leave the computer running at night. I fire up, I do lights, and then I have it's almost like what pilots do or it's a pilot checklist.
Yeah.
I start up everything in a certain order that I've learned that if I do it this way, the game will not crash. The stream doesn't crash because it's weird. You're shaking your head because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
When I learned years ago, before I started streaming, you always reboot your computer, freshen that thing out, clear out that memory. And then if I don't load everything in that order, something's going to go wrong. So I do get up, and I don't run anything on here I don't need. I keep it super simple, clean, so I can have fun and I don't have to worry about anything. So, and then I'm usually ready by 10 minutes prior. And I check my mic, I check my sound effects, got everything. I have like I call it my drum kit. I have my Go XLR here. I have a tablet, which we use for the trucking simulators. We get a virtual dashboard on it. It's called Sim Dashboard. It's a great app on Android tablets. So that sits here. I got that fired up. Stream Deck is on my right. And I use two mice. I got two mice, which I have two PCs, but I don't have a dual PC system. I have an old 11-year-old HP computer that runs on two monitors that just shows data, like chat rooms and stuff. And these are like 10-year-old monitors I'm using. People freak out like, I have old equipment. I'm like, well, it still works.
Still works. Well, what do you need to change it for?
Other ones is off the gaming PC, which is the 3090 and all that. And so I'm only running OBS, the game, and of course, Facebook's dashboard, but really don't run pretty much anything else.
Do you have like a list that you actually have written out or a document somewhere of what to make sure that you don't forget anything, you do it in the right order?
Oh, yeah. 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 It's a whole sequence. It would be like a pilot.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through flight training now and everything is a checklist.
Do you write it down? Like, do you have it written out? Do you have it like as a printed document? Like, how is that checklist?
Now I've done it so many times.
You don't need it.
People know this. I've streamed 19 months consecutively every single day for 4 to 6 hours. Even on Christmas, I was there. I don't think anyone else is stupid enough to do that. and I know what you coach. I know you say you should stream and other days to make VODs. The problem is I'm so happy with my chat room mommy community. If I don't start my day this way, I'm not happy. So no, people do not do what I do, but I love it. I have such a deep passion for streaming. And going back to BlogTV, we didn't get paid anything.
Yeah.
For years. I mean, I did 5 years of streaming and didn't make a dime.
Yeah. We'll swing into all this. I
do have a checklist like a pilot would.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's super good. Yeah. And even on that front, I mean, whatever you do to make yourself unique and different, right? Like, and that is something 100% unique and different every day, consistency on it. We're definitely going to talk more about that as well.
All right, cool.
You are known as being one of the, let's get into a little bit more of the longer even stuff here.
I'm known for a lot of things. I can't wait to hear what I'm known for.
You're known for being one of the longest running streamers out there, right? Creating content before it was even called content. So I wanted to start, like, where did it all start for you?
If I can go back before I actually created the content, I've always been a radio DJ fan, like talk radio or just the DJs back in the 70s. Remember, I'm 59 years old. Hopefully that doesn't scare everybody. I always thought, man, those DJs were like the kings. Wolfman, Jackal, these guys that were on the radio. They're playing music, stuff like that. And then talk radio kind of started. I was like, man, that's all cool. Then I got the chance to help a local radio show here in the Washington, D.C. area called the Sports Junkies. They are a small evening show. And I said, hey, I know how to build websites. I've been a geek since 82. I even worked at Radio Shack. Lovely. Let's get that out there. I'm a Radio Shack guy. He said, sure. So anyway, I started working in a radio station, not on the radio, CBS Radio, WJFK in Washington, D.C. And then there was a thing that started on the internet around 1999, 2001 called live365.com. And you had the ability to make your own radio station and you could stream live. And I said, hey guys, you don't mind if I do that? They laughed at me. Yeah, go ahead, play around your internet there. That's fine. Cause the internet still wasn't that big.
Yeah.
AOL was around, whatever. Yeah, go ahead and do your little radio station. Like, okay. So I got on there and I didn't know what to do. And so all of us guys, everybody's starting to stream in 2001. We're like, trying to figure out, we learned consistency. And I was trying to play what I liked, which was fine. But when you're trying to do music and stuff like that, it's not what everyone else wants. I said, you know what? I'm going to act like a real radio station and give what people want that I also like and be consistent about that. And bam, my numbers started skyrocketing. And I started really praying like a program director. So I did Live 365. That's where RocklandUSA actually came from. I wanted to call it Rockland would be the radio station, but there was already Rockland in Germany. So I added USA to it. That's where the name came from. That's when I registered that domain name.
Wow.
So that's my timestamp right there. And I ran up till 2013 doing that till Sirius XM and the radio station industry got with Congress to raise the royalty rates. And I couldn't pay the royalty rates on copyright music anymore. But I played copyright music legally, but you had to pay thousands of dollars a year to do that. I didn't make any money to do that, by the way. I lost. But it was fun. It was fun. And I ended up getting, in 2004, 2005, Internet Broadcaster of the Year, Best Radio Station, and I think another award for the best website. But this is, I think there are 15,000 radio stations on Live 365. It was the biggest streaming platform at the time.
How did that radio feel versus then around that time getting into video streaming, or even after that, and as you've progressed from there?
Well, I'm on, Facebook was kind of starting out like that and kind of looking around, and then people are talking about, these live streamers, video streamers in 2006, 7. So I started looking like, what's going on with video on webcam using like Minicam and these other early programs. I remember my first webcam was a golf ball thing. You'll remember that Logitech, what do they call that thing? It looked like a ball, an eye.
Yeah.
It was a big triangle. Anyway, so I saw these people on webcam. It was horrible video, but then we thought it was amazing. Like, they're just sitting there talking to people and they're doing the same thing and they have a chat room. I was like, I got to do that. I said, I want to do that. So I looked around, I saw BlogTV. I'm like, this seems like the cool place to be. If you had 20 viewers, you were like king.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about back that time, because a lot of people didn't watch that stuff. People didn't know what that was. And I really got into the video part. But then again, I started video. Everyone's just sitting there talking, or they're hanging out in bed. There wasn't really anything going on. I'm like, what if I made that a talk radio show? Because I was started streaming, nothing was working. I say, all right, I'm going to start 12 noon every day that I can, because I'm still working for the fire department, and let's make it like a talk radio short format, but have fun with it. So that was the road I started going down, which worked okay. And then more people came on, and then I had to come in with another big deal, which really catapulted me to the top on BlogTV. So
how did you manage the work at the fire department and what you were doing while also streaming and working on this online content and balancing those things?
Well, I had kids, so luckily they're at school during the day. So I'm at home. Normally I'm resting, because where I worked in the Washington, D.C. area was Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Virginia. Very, very busy. We don't go to bed there. If you work inside the Capitol Beltway, you don't go to bed. So normally I would take a nap or something like that in the middle of the day or whatever. But I couldn't stream while I was working 24-hour shifts. But I would come home, house is empty. So I could actually have my own personal time, because everybody's at work. By myself with a dog, and that's pretty much it. So the balance was pretty easy. The only hard part was you're tired, and the last thing you want to do is look tired on a camera and go live. So
was that harder for you because you did have the video as well, and to keep yourself live and keep the conversation and what you were doing going through that, especially if people weren't engaging or whatever it was with it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you have to look well, whether we like it or not, right or wrong. You gotta look good on camera, right? If I'm going to do well on this, I looked at more of a challenge. It wasn't like a competition. It was a challenge. Like, all right, this is the barrier. What can I do to get to the top? Because there was no benefit out of it being number one. You got nothing out of it. However, BlogTV did come up with a contest, which changed everything. They had a thing called Friend Fest, which would mean the streamer with the most viewers every week, they would be the winner. And then after 12 weeks, one person would win a trip around the world, and you would be the biggest streamer on the BlogTV platform. That was the prize. And that's where I had to really get the creative juices going. And I came up with doing game shows, TV style game shows, because I love my chat room. How can I get them, Eric? Well, if I do a game show where they have to answer questions, trivia, or like a Wheel of Fortune knockoff or Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Then I got interaction, because I found out by 2008, I said, what I really like is my chat room. And my chat room will always make my priority. And I still do that today. We'll get to that, I'm sure. But that's where I really got into the chat room interaction. And once I did that, bam, I went, and I ended up winning that contest. I won a trip around the world. I was the biggest like a streamer on there. Yeah.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
And so was this
Actually knowing
you
why I wouldn't-
starting the stream same day, having the whatever aspect that you were bringing to it, being prepared for that and creating this show that people wanted to keep coming back for and then building it up from there? Was that like your primary focus across that entire year?
I had, well, looking at what does radio do? What do TV shows do? In your mind, 60 Minutes is on, well, I'm on the East Coast at 7 p.m. on Sundays. I don't even have to look at an ad. I don't have to look for someone to post, hey, 60 Minutes is going to be on. It's always been for programming, no matter what it is. In my mind, you do it this time every day, and you become part of their daily routine.
Yeah.
So I learned that from the radio, from internet radio that I was doing. So I just carried what I learned from CBS Radio into the radio station, RocklandUSA. I ended up with 10 channels on that. Some are recorded, and that would go live on each channel when I could. And then when I went webcam, I said, I'm going to do 12 noon because that was the one slot nobody was streaming. I said, that's going to be mine. I'm going to own that slot, and that will be mine. So that's why I picked 12 noon based on other people that were on doing who knows what. So, but the consistency, all that. Does this sound familiar with what you do today?
Oh yeah, I go live at 12 noon every day personally, actually.
Yeah. And I'm on at 5 a.m. So a lot of these things you're hearing, you're like, oh yeah, that's what they tell you to do. But we had to figure that out. But yeah, very, very consistent and make it like a job. Even though I made nothing, they make a dime.
Right.
But make it, and then from that work, it pays off.
Hey, I just want to take a little pause from the episode to tell you about an amazing opportunity that we have. Stone's going to share a little more details, but if you're interested in growing your stream, then listen to what he has to say.
Did you know there's a proven way to grow your stream? I get that growing your audience can feel impossible. I've been there, but I'm here to tell you that with the right framework, it's not only possible, I try and make it as simple as possible. I spent the last 10 years learning how to hone my craft, and I've distilled the most important things that I've learned into a 1-hour free live training session. I'm going to be talking about the most important things that you should be focusing on to create amazing content, grow your audience, and to monetize. You shouldn't be working hard and not seeing results. I want to save you from working on the stuff that isn't really moving the needle for you. There's a proven framework that every streamer uses to grow. It might be in different ways, but I'll even show you examples of how it's worked with many new creators. So what's the secret? Stay tuned for the session. Find out. Spots are even limited. So make sure to save it now, and I hope to see you there. Just click the link in the episode description to register. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes people don't know they don't know the reasoning behind what it is as well. But you've been streaming for years. When you look back on your content, what were some of, I guess, the biggest lessons that you've learned?
Ooh, reacting to trolls and how you deal with haters and stuff like that. Because you'll get judged. You will get judged on that stuff. Because back then, the trolls and the hate raids were real. I mean, this is when swatting was starting. That was starting up. We were getting pizzas delivered to our houses. It was really bad. Now it's really calmed down a lot. Police departments know what to do, but it was bad. It was so dangerous to stream back then. A lot of people were very protective about their families. Wouldn't even say they were married. Wouldn't say they had kids. You had to really be cautious. People called my employer just to make up stuff, but I let my employer know that, so they disregard it.
Right.
Because part of the process of my employer is you let them know you're doing anything,
sure,
part-time. And that was my part-time, that was probably a big thing. And just, not reacting to it because you're just feeding into the trolls. There's a website, I think it's still around, 4chan. They were very notorious about looking for all these new streamers on Justin TV, BlogTV, and stuff like that. And they would come in mass and they would just take over. You can go on YouTube, probably find some old videos. I think they're still out there of people rating me, but they made the videos. I can't remove them, but it sets you off a little bit because you go from 30 viewers to like 1,000, which is totally unheard of back then.
Yeah.
And it's just flattening it on YouTube.
Yeah, tell me about the sunglasses, the name, the story behind them. I mean, they do add to the stream. They add a different element to the stream, even to your point where you can kind of look around while you're keeping your face in one direction and make some moves to surprise some people or whatever.
So everyone thinks I copy off the doc. No, I did not copy off the doc. I discovered this in 2008, right? Because I'm tired from the fire department. I come home, my eyes are blood red shot, right? I'm like, these, you know, you put the lights on you. I think lighting is a big deal when you stream. So it's like, if I'm going to stream hours, it's a lot of strain on my eyes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try put some sunglasses on and see how it works. Over time, these now are not just sunglasses, not polarized because you can't see the screens, but it's the Casey. You've heard Casey Neistat. You know,
Oh,
Casey
yeah.
Neistat.
Yeah.
So if you watch this video on why he wears sunglasses, it's because when he does his vlogs, he can look at himself and you can't see. He's looking, you know, how people make vlogs, they're looking at
Yep.
the screen and not
The
the
display.
lens.
Yeah.
He does that for that reason. So he can look at himself. You don't know he's looking at that. Same thing for me. I can look at that. Plus, my chat room is actually about 3 feet away. They are slightly magnified, like reading glasses. So I can see it makes stuff bigger. I can sit here 4 to 6 hours or even longer nonstop. It doesn't hurt my eyes. I feel good. There's a look element to it. There's a bunch of reasons. But I see a lot of people also wear sunglasses just to wear sunglasses. Doc wears sunglasses. I'm going to wear sunglasses. Rock wears sunglasses. You know, but there's actually a purpose to a lot of the reason why I'm doing the sunglasses.
That's awesome.
They look cool, then.
They do look cool. I like them.
New ones, so.
Definitely adds to the style on it.
Thanks.
You've streamed for years. When you look back, well, you know what? Actually, when you think about kind of content and the tools and networks available to streamers today, do you think content creation is better or harder over the years, even to like get noticed?
I think it makes my job easier, but for new streamers, it makes their life more difficult because they see other streamers with all this stuff. They get it, not knowing why or why they even need it, and they complicate their streams tremendously, in my opinion. They overwhelm themselves. That's my opinion. Having a stream deck is very useful. However, I could use a tablet to do that. The Go XLR has been, I'm still kicking myself in the butt for not buying that thing earlier. I didn't get it till like late last year. I was using all this old like radio stuff, like mixers and sound enhancers, all this nonsense. You know, got all these cables going everywhere. The Go XLR ended up being, I was like, damn, why didn't I buy that thing? So, you know, so I really wait till I can afford it. I don't like going in debt when I buy something. If I don't have the money, I'll buy it. But do I really need that item? And will it serve a purpose? I don't want a bunch of stuff laying here.
Yeah.
And I want it simple. Don't put too many connections that could go wrong during my stream. I want to sit back and I know it's going to work and I can have fun. That's how I operate. Streamlined and just does it work? If it doesn't, if I try it for like a couple of days or whatever, am I forcing myself to use it? Or is it really helping me make my job easier?
Do you think like the tools that you have and everything that you have now does like that's helped you expand with everything though? And like that, and even just the platforms and where that's developed versus where, you know, it was 5, 10, 15 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Before I was basically doing game shows, which I had to create every single one myself. I didn't use like the Wheel of Fortune game off the shelf. I made it. So I made 10 different games made for chat rooms.
Yep.
To make it work so everybody could play. Because if you do like a Wheel of Fortune, you can only have 3 players. So you have to pick 3 people. So I made all my games work with a chat room.
Sure.
That stuff was, I mean, that was all I could use. You just use a computer, I had a webcam, that was it. And I still had a Shure SM7B like you have.
Sure.
I still had that. Sound to me is a big deal. So I made sure the sound was a big deal. Lighting was a big deal. At least, you know, the best webcam I could get, which was usually Logitech or something like that at the time. But now, some of these other tools you can have, Stream Deck. I really don't have that much here now you mention it. I still have the same mic, but a high LPR40 instead, but Go XLR, Stream Deck, and really some lighting, but I mean, it's really not that much different. It's very streamlined. Well, my steering wheels.
You got the steering wheels. You got the game itself too to help interact and to still bring some of those things out and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said you're working on your pilot's. Let me rephrase that. So you're getting your pilot's license. Yeah. Has this been a lifelong dream? Where did this come from? Obviously, you do a lot of simulations. You've done some flight simulators as well as that. Even where it stemmed from and some of your interests with it?
Yeah. Well, can you imagine if I've been playing video games for 40 years, right? Since Pong. I mean, legit Pong is when I started playing video games. And I was hooked legitimately since that day. If you were a kid, my kid, can you imagine? You got to play Dreamcast. You got to do all this stuff, right? I mean, they had games since they were in diapers. I mean, but my son was so into technology by me doing all this. And I was doing streaming and stuff like that. Well, he's growing up. He really wanted to be an astronaut. So the compromise was I said, you and I are going to go get our pilot's license together. He got his pilot's license before he got his driver's license.
Wow.
But when we went to ground school, I didn't know how much it costs to get a pilot's license. So I dropped out. I worked overtime to pay for his so he could go. And then he went to Georgia Tech, became an aeronautical engineer. He's still heavy gaming. His wife is a heavy gamer as well, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got it made right now. But I never got to get my pilot's license. So here's going to be something that really freaks people out because people have figured this out from Twitter. I used to be a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines, right? So I retired from the fire department. I worked for Marriott doing fire inspections around the world. And I would be on Southwest all the time. And then this FBI guy, he had an FBI pin on Southwest. I did not realize there's a lot of police and firefighters retired that work for Southwest. So they talked me into signing for Southwest. So I ended up being a flight attendant for Southwest. And I fell in love with sitting up in the cockpit in 737s all the time. The pilots love me because I'm retired. They're retired military guys. And they could care less about the ladies. We're just having a great old time right up there. I said, man, I got to fly with these suckers, man. So it really drove me. I mean, I left that job to do streaming now.
Right.
It was a retirement gig. I don't need it. And I'm more for this. But it really renewed my interest in wanting to fly. And my happy place is being in the sky. So I really find peace in whatever that is up there. It's so amazing up there. And I just love being on the 737s every day. And I really want that back. So I better figure the next best thing is get your pilot license.
You're also one of the top people playing simulators and have an incredible setup for all of that as well. Like, how does the simulations feel versus the real thing and experiencing it?
It really depends on your equipment, but it can get pricey. So I've upgraded. I used to have Logitech and Thrustmaster wheels, which are more consumer grade wheels. Because I retired as a retirement gift to myself, I spent a couple $1,000s on a steering wheel setup that's usually meant for iRacing or some of these really big racing leagues. So I got a Fanatic wheel setup, which is about $2,000 to have, but 6 pieces. It's got the handbrake, but it's all like German made. And I mean, it's amazing equipment. And that I tune it to feel just like my car. My car is a 6-speed. So I've tuned it, precisely down to, it feels exactly like my car. Wow. And then the airplane stuff, I got Logitech SideTech already makes radio stacks, autopilot display boards. So I have all that back here. So I can pretty much simulate my Cessna 172 as much as possible and practice before I actually do it using Microsoft Flight Simulator, the newest version. It will be pretty close. I mean, you don't get the turbulence and all that.
Sure.
But as far as doing my checklist and procedures, I can practice that a lot, and the instructors love it. So, and I now have 4 of these racing setups that are sitting on wheel stands. So the way I operate, I'm pulled up my desk right now, but I want to do racing. Wheel stand comes in, slides in. I plug in the USB on the ground. I'm up and running. If I want to switch to flight, I wheel that over there. So everything's on wheel stands. Nothing clamps to the desk. That's how I operate. And I got one for farm sim, driving sims, and flight sim.
Damn. There you go. Well,
I purchased this over time with donations from my amazing Rock Squad community. I never went into debt buying any of this equipment, which is very important to me.
Well, one of the things that's most impressive to me, you mentioned this earlier, is your consistency. You've been streaming every day, no days off for the past 19 months on Facebook. You got to tell us what is the secret to the consistency with that? How do you even commit to doing that in the first place?
Again, I treat it like a job. I take it seriously because I left 2 fun jobs to do this during the pandemic. I left working for Southwest and Marriott, where I got to fly 5 days a week and see America, Canada, and the Caribbean. I enjoyed just seeing everything. It was a very laid back job. You're doing fire inspections, but it was a lot of retired firemen working for Marriott doing this, right?
Yeah.
I left a lot of fun stuff on set, but if this is my one chance to do streaming one last time, so I take it seriously. I gave up something that was fun because this is even more fun for me. I've been doing this so many years. A deep passion in my heart is this. It's not about money. It's none of that. I legit have a passion for it. When people they challenge me on that, I said, again, I did it for many years where I made no money. We're probably talking about 13 years of streaming stuff. I didn't make it, probably lost money doing that, right? But that Rock Squad community, the community that has built during the pandemic until now, when I go live, they don't need a notification. 5 a.m. like you start your stream, right?
Yep.
Bam. There's mornings I wake up, I'm like, that alarm goes off at 4:00 in the morning. Stone. You think every day I want to get on that camera? I'm being open and honest. I'm like,
for 19 months, every single day, you got to have bad days. You got to, whatever the case is. But that's what's so crazy. Like you're on.
That's why I've learned to enjoy this. My voice doesn't normally sound like this because I've worn it out over less. But I'm telling you, Stone, when I get down, I start all up and 5:00 hits, I hit go live, like on the nose, 5 a.m. And once that chat room fills up, I'm good. I'm happy again. Anything that was in my mind, if I'm tired, I'm having fun. And I'm having fun with the community. And they're all saying good morning. They talk to each other because they have friendships with each other. And they're just having fun. And we're just goofing off driving a stupid truck. Because it really isn't the truck, Stone.
Yeah.
It's really the magic sauce is our stream is actually the community. It has nothing to do with the truck. And that's the secret. And people can't figure that out.
Love that answer, man. I love that.
I'm so passionate about it. I love it, man. So
do you think, a little bit of a different topic, but kind of on the sake of community and things, do you think Discord is overrated? What is kind of your best engagement tools that you use for your community and that you have in your arsenal?
I started out with Discord and I fell into a trap, which I tell streamers not to do. Don't do something because someone else does it. And I started Discord, not because everyone else is doing it. It's something newer. So I started Discord, but the Discord turned on me. So, because I can't afford to have someone monitor 24 hours a day. It's a 24-hour system. There are people that all of a sudden they wanted to become streamers. And so they go in there while you're not around. They start messaging everyone in there to come over them. We went through a really bad part in my first 6 months of streaming on Facebook because we were exploding during the pandemic. I was yelling. I lost my voice. I didn't care. We were celebrating. We had 100,000 hours in like 4 months. I mean, I was moving every day, bam, bam, bam. But then people during the pandemic says, hey, that guy streamed. Oh, that looks easy. I'm going to start streaming.
Yeah.
And so Discord actually turned on me where people inside were my own moderators turned on me. You don't know when you do that if you don't have close moderators. And I had to shut it off. I'm like, I had to sit back like, what am I doing with Discord? What is the purpose of this stupid thing? I'm on Facebook. We already have message boards. We have groups. What was I gaining from this Discord thing? So I only use Discord for voice chat when we do farm sim multiplayer sims on our community servers that I have. I fell into a trap, in my opinion, that I should not have done it. I did it, and I think it's a bad idea. I think new streamers do things, and I did it too. You do things, you see everyone else doing it, like, well, maybe I'm supposed to do that. No, it doesn't mean you have to do that. Don't overextend yourself because now I got to go worry about that. There's drama over here. I got to squelch. I got to go over here to Facebook groups. I have to squelch that. There's someone spreading rumors over here. Then all I want to do is create content, have fun with my community. And then it starts destroying why you're doing your why. Like, I don't need that. I started chopping everything out. And I'm telling you, Stone, as soon as I did that, I took a hit on it.
Sure.
For a couple weeks. We exploded after that. We even got more popular. And it actually was the best thing I did.
Was that you focusing then the attention onto the actual Facebook and just keeping everything within that ecosystem?
I got rid of something I didn't need that took me away from creating my content and my community because you think you're helping in your community, but now I'm fragmenting my community because now I'm sending them over here. I'm sending them over here. I don't do restreaming. I stream one place. Well, now I do occasional streams on YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't do restreaming is what I mean.
Yeah.
Facebook is my home. I'm a Facebook partner and I love the platform. I'm focusing on my content, my community. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think I got so much better. Everything improved. And then we skyrocketed again after that. And that was probably one of the best things I did. A lot of people disagree with me. And, to each their own.
Well, it's 2022. We're already a few months into it. What are some of your bigger content goals or even along that content line for the rest of the year?
I need to do better at VODs because I'm having so much fun with my community streaming 7 days a week. I've already been telling my community, I said, look, guys, at some point we're going to stop this streak because I'm going to take some day off. My biggest decision right now, I've seen other people talk about this. I think you've talked about it and other people on YouTube is I really need to figure out when can I hire my first person. Mm-hmm. And that would be a video editor, in my opinion, would be the very first thing, because if I had that person, I could explode beyond that part because I'll have all this content I got sitting here, but I don't have the time to do that.
Yep.
Can I find that one person? I know they won't have my passion. I know that, but can I get a good B or a good C grade person that can develop those skills and then hopefully help them to move on and take care of them at the same time? I need to make sure I know they won't have my passion. They won't have it, but can they at least, generate the content? And then I think that would help me elevate to the next level.
I want to say a huge thank you for your time, for joining in today. If people want to find you, listen more from you, where do they find you?
Well, Rockland USA has been around since 2001. So it's literally Rockland USA on Twitter, Linktree, YouTube, everywhere. It's Rockland USA.
Heck yeah, man.
It's whenever /Rockland USA. I grabbed all those as I came on for all the years. So, hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I know this is all about me. It should be. But let me just say something about you and Snoop and Pipeline. I've been with Pipeline since month 2 or 3 since I started on Facebook. Even with all these months, I had to relearn what the hell's going on with the streaming thing, right? You guys are changing lives. I know you hear it, but you guys are the real deal. And the stuff you had, I did all that. And between what you guys have taught me through your playbook and your videos and everything in your meetings and what Facebook tells me what to do on the best practices in my experience, that has really helped me more than anything. I'm going to be a fanboy here also. But no, seriously, and I really appreciate what you guys do.
Absolutely.
And you guys have had a lot to do with what is going on Facebook. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I wanted to just end this with a little bit of context on why we do what we do. We're former content creators ourselves, and we just really want to help as many content creators as we can. That's why we started Pipeline.gg. It's a platform where you can find other like-minded creators and learn from the pros who have already been there. Get step-by-step guidance so you can avoid all the mistakes that we made in the beginning. If you love the episode, there's going to be even more insight on Pipeline. So check it out. Head over to Pipeline.gg.